It is my privilege to introduce our first speaker this morning, and her name is Lena Thompson. Lena was born in Russia, grew up in South Africa, and now lives and works in the UK. She has over 15 years of experience in the corporate arena, consulting, training, and designing systems for her clients, including Microsoft, the Ministry of Defense, Anglo-Irish Bank, and many others. In 2018, Lena discovered personal development, which caused her to reevaluate all aspects of her life, including leaving her successful career to find more meaning and purpose. Lena received a publishing award by Brains magazine, co-authored a book with other female entrepreneurs, and spoke on podcasts including HR Review, HR Chat, and radio shows. Now, Lena is an award-winning entrepreneur presenting at the Art of Croatia, Age of Champions Summit and Exhibition, Future of Work Berlin, Future of Work Singapore, and SHRM Inclusion 2022 in Chicago. I'm now going to hand you over to Lena, who will take you into her presentation.
I believe that our health and our well-being are not just determined by the food we eat, how much we exercise, but also by the kind of thoughts we think and how much energy we have to show up in our life. So our thoughts, our feelings and emotions have a power to heal us. They have a power to make us feel better and also have the power to make us feel worse. Basically, what we think and how we feel will directly influence what we create in our lives. I have spent over 15 years in a corporate arena where I had a really successful career. I was making six figures, kids in private schools, incredible holidays. So like on the surface, I had it all. But everything inside of me was crumbling because I felt empty, I felt disconnected, unfulfilled, and just drained by the mundane tasks of my job. And, you know, for a while, I actually tried to kind of reignite this passion for the job I once enjoyed. But I think that for too long, I focused on doing things that did not energize and did not inspire me. And eventually, after taking, reevaluating, I guess, many aspects of my life, on the verge of this emotional, energetic burnout, feeling like I had no power over my life, I quit. And I started a business because obviously, I had to do something, but I also wanted to really find out what is it that I was good at? What was it that lit up my heart and my soul on fire? And for a while, I was having a lot of fun working for myself, being my own boss. But soon I realized that I was actually recreating a very similar reality that I ran away from because I still felt empty. I still felt unfulfilled. And this time I was just really busy and broke. Eventually I hit an energetic burnout. I literally had like nothing to give. I had no energy to show up. And I remember one day coming to my laptop, I opened the laptop and I forgot how to type. So that's how exhausted I was. And for the first time ever in my life, I allowed myself to slow down. Well, actually, it was more like I was being forced to slow down, to be honest, and take a really good look at what was going wrong within my life, within my work, and within myself. And after some soul searching, I actually saw clearly that I was so busy comparing myself to what everyone else is doing. I was so busy trying to get their validation, their approval, to get them and my team, that instead of fueling my vision with my energy, I was leaking my energy everywhere, trying to control things that actually were completely outside of my control. And what I really realized on this journey is that we give a lot of our power, we give our sense of value to external sources, to people, to society, to media, that we often forget that who we are is what matters the most. We created a society who so addicted to busyness, to doingness, and that only keeps us away from understanding and from believing in ourselves. So the question is, how can we stop leaking our energy? How can we stop giving our power and bring this energy back to ourselves and actually use it to channel it towards our vision, towards healing ourselves, towards creating whatever it is in life that you want to create. And I love what Dr. Jody Spencer says. He's a neuroscientist. If you guys are not familiar with him, he's a neuroscientist. He talks a lot about energy. He says that the only way we can change anything in our life is by changing our energy. And first, we've got to start changing the way we think and the way we feel. So today, I will share with you 3 simple steps that help me to banish all my burnouts, feel emotionally, energetically lighter, become much more productive, more focused, achieve a lot more while working a lot less, and also make decisions that I love and I trust. So let's look firstly at thoughts. Our thoughts literally determine our lives. We become what we think about, right? But let me ask you that. And if you want to share it in the chat, amazing. If you want to keep it to yourself, amazing. But we all have a vision. We all have a goal we work towards, right? Maybe it's like to have more fulfilling relationships, or to lose 10 kgs, or get a career promotion, feel better, sleep better, whatever that is, right? But how much of your day do you actually spend focusing on that goal, on that vision? And I don't mean just like thinking, oh, it would be really nice to have this, but like really feeling it, really connecting with it emotionally, physically, psychologically. How much of your day? The chances are probably not that much, because we conditioned, to focus on things that we feel lacking, the arguments we have with our partners, or the children, or the email we get from our boss, or the people who cut us off in traffic. And most of the day, we just spend focusing on things that don't really matter, things that actually take us away from our vision, take us away from our goal. And not even that, they also impact our energy level. And that's a potential for mental, spiritual, emotional, psychological burnouts. So what can we do instead? We need to understand that when we start changing our thoughts, we start changing the way we feel. And when we start changing the way we feel, we start changing our energy. And when your energy is high, like literally there's nothing you cannot do. So the first thing we've got to do is slow down. We sometimes so busy, we can't even hear ourselves think. And we cannot really change anything if we are just being too busy. Observe your thoughts. You have millions of thoughts a day, but just because you're having a thought, it doesn't mean it's even your thought. It doesn't mean it's true. It doesn't even mean anything about you. We're always telling ourselves stories about ourselves. So it doesn't mean that every thought that comes into your head is actually worth even, following and investigating. So start observing. This is my favorite question, guys. I ask myself that like all the time, especially when I feel doubt and I feel a little bit of uncertainty and anxiety, whatever comes up. What do I know that feels a little bit better than this, right? Or a little bit different than this. So whenever you have a thought that is a negative thought that does not make you feel good, at this moment in time, you can choose to feel and think something different. It doesn't need to be something major, but maybe you think, I'm an amazing mom. The kids are coming home from school now and I made them like a fresh meal, right? Or maybe, this morning I went for a 10-minute walk. Whatever that is, but start shifting your thoughts. Start taking your attention from things that you don't want to things that feel good. And over time, you pick up momentum and there will be less and less of those intrusive thoughts that are coming into your awareness. And also, we've got to understand that whenever we interact with someone, there is always a transfer of energy, right? So often what that happens, we pick up thoughts, we pick up challenges and ideas from other people. You might have found yourself that in the presence of certain people, you have like more pressure to think and to be certain and to be more confident, and you've got to say something clever. So that is actually not even yours. You're picking up energy of other people. So when you start observing, you'll be able to to identify and discern thoughts that are not even yours. And that's powerful because it literally liberates so much of the trapped energy. And then you just, it helps you to avoid that mental anxiety and mental overwhelm. Step 2, focus on safety, right? One thing we've got to understand is we don't get in life what we want, we get in life what we can tolerate. And just because we want something and we think it's a good idea, it doesn't mean we're going to get it. Let me give you an example. say you want to lose 10 kgs and you think, right, that's going to be awesome. Okay, I'm going to hire a personal trainer. I'm going to go check all the crisps out of my pantry. I'm going to free up my schedule and I'm going to exercise every day for 30 minutes. Great, amazing thoughts. But actually, if you check how you feel with your body might be freaking out completely. It's like, how am I going to do it? I've got back-to-back meetings. I've got so many crisps. I'm not sure I can check them out. What would my kids say? What would my husband say? Whatever, all of the stories come up. So there is a disconnect. There is a disconnect between what you want and between what you feel. And remember, our one number goal is to survive, right? And whenever we perceive a threat, a rejection, we will do everything in our power to sabotage it, everything. And what a sabotage breeds? More anxiety, more stress, overwhelm, and another potential for a burnout. So what do we do instead? How can we tap into that safety? Choose your next stepping stone. I will explain what I mean. Imagine you come to the river, right? You're not going to now just jump over the river. You're probably going to look for the next stone, and then you walk over the stone to get to the other side of the river. So now on the other side of the river is your goal. I'm going to stick with the same example. Say you want to lose 10 kgs, right? So this is your 10 kgs. So instead of like taking this massive jump and doing all of this at once because you can't bear being on this bank of the river, so instead of jumping to the other side and falling flat into the river, flat on your face, and then swimming back, you just choose one little thing that you know that feels safe for you. It might be going for a 10-minute walk. It might be throwing the chips away, crisps away in a pantry. It might be whatever it is, but you don't need to tackle the entire thing in one go. Just choose the next stepping stone that feels safe, that feels sturdy, that feels stable. Because when you stick with what you know will grow. So what that means is when you take the next stone and you feel safe on it, that's when you start getting momentum. And before you know, you're on the other side of the river. But that will eliminate all of the hows, right? It's like, how am I going to do that? It doesn't really matter. How is not your job. Your only job is to choose something that feels a little safer. And before you know, you will gain that momentum. And also ask yourself, that's really powerful. You can even get a pen and paper. What it feels in my life, what feels safe in my life right now? If there's something in the life that your life feels safe, remember, it's all about shifting your thought, shifting your energy to something that you can think of better and you can feel about better. And then lastly on this, release self-judgment. Often when we don't get something straight away, we judge ourselves, we tell ourselves stories. We wouldn't even use the same language on our friends because they'll never speak to us again. But yet we allow ourselves to talk that way to us. And that judgment, that self-judgment, guys, it takes a lot of our energy. It just takes so much of our power away, release so much energy. And it's another potential for burnout. So stop judging yourself. That's it. This is the last one I wanted to share. Understand how you operate. Guys, this has been the biggest game changer for me in my career and in my life. Imagine now being given a manual to your life that helps you understand how to use your energy, how to optimize your energy in all areas of your life, how you are wired to make decisions, communicate, to show up in the world, to be the fullest expression of yourself. And that's exactly what human design helped me to do. It helped me to eliminate my burnouts, to gain confidence. I mean, 2 years ago, you should have seen me. There is no way I'd be here talking to you. I was like a complete mess. It helped me to set boundaries. And most importantly, it helped me to find my purpose and also to course correct my life. So what is human design? So human design, it's a modality that shows us really how we are uniquely designed energetically. What do we have energy for? How do we show up? How do we stay most productive, most efficient and focused throughout the day? For those of you who are familiar with Myers-Briggs, DISC, Strength Finder, human design builds on top of that by adding an energetic component to it. So it's based on multiple areas of science like quantum physics, biochemistry, genetics, and also more Eastern sciences like energy system or chakra system, of those of you who are familiar. It helps us to identify our natural strength, talents, and also vulnerabilities. it shows us how we're here to optimize our energy in our relationships, in our career, and in our lives. And it enables us to make decisions as ourselves, for ourselves, decisions that we're actually willing to trust and back up no matter what. So in other words, it's your energetic blueprint for living in alignment with who you are meant to be. So just to wrap this up, I just want to introduce you to 5 very basic concepts of human design. There are 5 different energy types. So think of it like, if you know Myers-Briggs, like 5 different personality types. You can also call them career type. Each type has the unique set of core strength and gifts and talents that they bring to the table. And the way they stay energized and productive is different for every single one of them. Each type has their own way of interacting with other people, with the world around them, based on their energy type. Everyone is wired to make decisions differently, okay? And then human design, it's called your authority. It's your inner authority, that where you claim the power back, where you make decisions based on who you are rather than what others think you should be. And your authority helps you to make decisions that are correct for you and stop you from chasing opportunities that are not even meant to be for you. And then lastly, profile. That helps you to understand how you're here to express yourself, so you can become a powerful communicator. So you know how to speak to people, so that people listen to you. How do you learn? What is your communication style? Basically, it tells you a lot about who you are. So, you know, I mean, we can spend our lives really chasing or trying really to be who we are not, and chasing opportunities that are not meant to be for us. But the thing is, the further apart, the further away we are from our true selves, the greater pain we will have in our lives. And learning how to operate in alignment with who you are will lead you to improve health and well-being, will give you more confidence and eliminate the stress and burnout and anxieties. So just to wrap this up, guys, this is the formula for the new age of wellness. It's your thoughts, it's the safety, and it's your energy. I know what it feels like to be drained and stressed and have no energy to show up. And that's why I'm just so grateful to be here with you today and share with you something that really made a difference to my life. And, you know, just to leave you with the last kind of thoughts, I guess, when we take full ownership of our lives, when we take ownership, when we focus on our energy, right? When we focus our energy on what we want, and when we prioritize our connection to ourselves instead of comparing and judging what others are doing, that's when things begin to change. And that's when we can create anything we want in our life with ease. So that's me for now. I know I went over time, but yes, thank you so much again for having me. And I'm going to pass it over to you, Pamela.
And this comes from Apiwe, and this is directed at Lena. Lena, the question to you is how to maintain balance, well-being between work and life in general. Lena?
Yeah, so I mean, I think, you know, when we think about balance, straight away we think, what do I do? You know, what do I do differently? But the question really we need to think is, how can I feel differently? Because when we love what we do and we feel lit up by what we're doing, then balance is like, what is even balance? It's like literally balancing the way you feel about things. So first of all, I would definitely recommend doing something that you love, something that you're passionate and it lights you up. And I understand that sometimes in a job, it's not always possible. So that's when the second top thing comes, they identify your strengths, right? And leverage. Use your strength in your everyday life, because when you actually build on your strength, when you work in alignment with your strength, things become easier. So you actually get through the tasks a lot quicker, and then identify things that are not your strength, identify things that drain you, and then also realize that things that you don't like doing, that things you're not good at, that you're not strong at, it's someone else's strength. So then learn how to outsource them. And then finally, also my always advice is to prioritize your excitements. And what I mean by that, we often like save the best for last. So if you've got like things to do in your day, you're like, right, I'm going to get rid of the tasks I don't want to do, rid of the things I don't want to do, and then I leave the things I want to do for last. But it actually should be the other way around, because when you start your day doing things that you enjoy doing, you naturally raise your energy, and then you can get through other things that you less passionate to guess about and a lot quicker, and then you free up your time, and that's when you're going to have more free time to do whatever that you like to do. I hope that helps.
And this is directed at Lena. Lena, the question is, what is the best way to negotiate salary and scope of work? What is the best way to negotiate salary and scope of work?
So I think we've got to really understand that our salary is really a reflection of how much we value and we believe in ourselves. So, I mean, I worked with people who were far more educated than me, that had more experience, and yet I was earning a lot more than them. And I'm not saying it to boast, but I'm saying it so that if anyone thinks I need to have more experience, I have to have more certificates in education, it's actually not true, right? It has all to do with what you think is possible for you. So when it comes to negotiating salary, I would really focus more on understanding how much value I can add to something, how much value I can add to company and to people I work with, rather than how much experience and education I have. Understanding my core strengths, what is it unique that about me? What am I passionate about? Because all of that is just, it's my energy, right? And your energy sells a lot more than all of the experience and certificates. So I would really play around with the confidence and self-worth. And was there a second part of the question? Sorry, I missed that. Oh, it was the scope of work, wasn't it, I think? Pamela?
Sorry, Lena, that was, yes, the scope of work.
Okay, so when it comes to choosing scope of work, I would really check within myself, how would I feel doing this work, right? Would it light me up? Would I be fulfilled? Would I be excited doing the work? So that would be like my biggest thing. Rather than, instead of focusing on what do I think I should be doing and what do others expect of me, because that's the recipe for disaster. That's the recipe for burnout and overwhelm. So when it comes to choosing scope of work, always be absolutely honest about how you would feel doing the work rather than what you think you should be doing.
Okay, thank you so much, Lena. And that wraps up the